Okay.
First of all, happy...
Well,
I'm going straight in now. Oh, okay.
Well, comfy. I go straight in while I'm not ready. Why are you acting weird?
No, I'm not acting weird.
You are acting weird. Are you alright?
No,
You're nervous again, aren't you?
no, I'm fine. Have we started this or not?
Yeah, we started. Yeah.
Don't start. So, first of all,
Hello.
happy International Men's Day.
It's not just for men. This is for everyone.
I know that, but
We are an
Men's Day
inclusive vlogcast.
Right, okay.
No, happy International Men's Day. I'm sorry
That's
for doing
fine.
that.
You went for that one.
Yeah, everyone's welcome. We had a couple of messages last week, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Saying, is everyone welcome? Is it just for men? Because I referred a lot to Yorkie dads and menfulness. It's not just for the boys out there, it's for the girls.
You went with that, did you?
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, we like to give everyone the home.
It's for the women out there as well.
Yeah.
The women out
This
there.
is for everyone. Mental health isn't gender specific, is
It
it?
is weird when you said girls. No, it's not. Not at all.
I'm just going to apologise for this first as well.
Yeah, you didn't actually apologise for
No,
that
I
last
didn't.
week, and I think
It wasn't that obvious. It is this week.
Yeah.
So I have a ginger moustache, and I suppose that answers a lot of questions about other bodily hair that I have. So I'm sorry, Mum. Sorry, everyone. That it is for charity, though.
It is. You do well. You do
No,
well
that's
so
not
far.
bad for 2 weeks, is it?
I mean, what do you reckon to mine?
So this week, so let's talk about last week. Last week went well, right?
Last week went really well. We had some amazing responses on our Twitter, on our Instagram.
Yeah.
How many views did we have in the end?
250 something.
So my mum must have viewed that 248 because I viewed it once and you probably viewed it as well.
I viewed it a lot.
So well, thanks, Mum.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
Thanks, Mrs. Crosby.
And subscribers, how many do we have?
26.
Great.
That's good.
Amazing.
So that's 26 people that have decided that they either got something from or enjoyed or just found it funny.
Oh yeah, I wanted to pretty much waste 45 minutes of their life laughing at us.
So that's pretty good, right?
But yeah, I'm really happy with that. Really happy with that. And like we said last week, if it can help one person during this process that we go through, then
Amazing comments. There was a comment about someone who was like, yeah, I need to get out more and I need to better myself, and someone from America who actually gave us good tips as well. So there's a couple of little, not us personally, but for everyone out there, a lad from America who watched last week and he commented, here's my tip for lockdown, don't watch mainstream news outlets. Thought that was a good one, actually. It's a really good one. Like, try and switch off from that and maybe do your own research. And
yeah, so what all you ever see is the negativity in the news, especially now more than ever. I know we touched on lockdown quite a lot last week, but that's all that's in the news right now.
Yeah.
There's not really much positivity in that.
No, there isn't. So yeah, that was good feedback. Few really, honestly, just such nice comments.
Yeah,
People
great.
that actually found it refreshing, an easy watch or an easy listen. Someone listened to it while they're at work, someone listened on commute, someone listened on a run, listen while they're decorating.
Imagine listening to me while you're running. I mean, you do.
I listen to you while I'm running.
I'm going to shout at you.
Don't give up.
Do it for George.
Do it for George.
You did.
And I did, yeah. So there you go. So firstly, thank you. Just thank you to everyone that watched, shared, supported, sent messages. I genuinely didn't know if we'd do an episode 2.
No, we didn't. We thought, oh my god, this might just literally
very embarrassing.
Yeah, we were really embarrassed ourselves for 45 minutes. Which granted, I probably did.
Yeah, you did.
But if people want to watch it again...
I'm really struggling here, mate.
But people want to watch it again. So fine, you can watch me embarrass yourself.
He's not as nervous this week because he's already had 3. This podcast is sponsored by Peroni.
I've had 3 crates.
So he's all right this week. So obviously we speak about, we always say after the video, comment, drop us a message if there's something you want us to talk about. So we have something of an agenda for the week. Yeah. We try to stay away from planning these things too much, and we haven't discussed what we're going to talk about. But our 3 things that we're going to cover tonight. The first thing is we're going to talk about something called seasonal affective disorder. Some of you will know about this, some of you won't. I didn't. I've had to do a bit of research this week. Yeah. And that might explain the winter blues.
That
we
is
speak
mainly
about.
what it's referred to. Not many people know it as SADS. The winter blues, which is the main one.
Yeah, so we're going to speak about that. We're also going to speak to, as someone very, very rightly pointed out, we were called out a bit, weren't we? So we always say, talk. If you are going through a tough period of life or a challenge or anything like that, talk about it. So what they said, why don't we talk about the challenges that we've had and how we got past them? So we're going to talk about our challenges. That's going to leave us a little bit vulnerable, I'm sure, but that's what it's about. So we're going to talk about those things. And the third thing we're going to talk about is Christmas lockdown measures. So some of you will be aware that Face for the Radio here got himself on BBC Radio York this morning with John.
Is that the time?
With Jonathan Cower, and that was for on behalf of Yorkie Dads to talk about should we ease lockdown for Christmas, and we're gonna have a discussion about that. It's topical. It's all over the news today, so I think that's a good time to talk about.
It is. I mean, I've not listened to it because he sends me stuff every day, and I listen to you enough, so it'd be nice having a bit of a outside opinion on that one.
So there are 3 topics. So if you've made it to episode 2, thank you.
Yes.
Hello and welcome back.
Come on.
If this is your first episode, thank you for sitting out the first 6.5 minutes. And if you wonder what it's all about, this is just 2 guys who aren't professionals, who have a positive outlook on the world, and we just want to discuss things that are topical, in the hope that some can relate and take comfort from knowing that they're not alone, and maybe some guidance.
Exactly, and if it's not yourself that's going through anything, then family members or close friends that you could maybe send this on to, and they might be able to get a bit of inspiration, or again have a good laugh, because if it cheers them up, then that's a win for me.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. 100%. Mike said 100% a lot last week.
Well, I like to be 100% on everything.
100%. Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Okay, well let's get going then.
Yeah, let's.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about. Thank you to the viewer that suggested this. Seasonal affective disorder. Great shout, by the way.
It is a great shout, and I mean I don't know a massive amount about it. If I'm going to be honest, my dad struggles with it a bit. I used to. They have these things called sad lights. So you would have them maybe before you go to bed, or if you're watching TV. And I remember going downstairs when, I don't know whether he still does now, whether you do, I don't know. But I used to have it a lot when he was younger, so he used to work night shifts quite a lot, so he would never see a lot of the day. So he would have this light next to him before he goes to work and stuff, like a UV light. I'd probably use it to get a tan, to be fair. Let's be honest.
It's not the daily skin routine then.
No, it's not.
It's a sunlight.
Not in there, but he would use it to get the sunlight from that. So I don't know how long it would take, 20 minutes maybe, on an evening before bed or before work. I don't know if you've...
Yeah, well, I've done a little bit of rooting around, and actually I was walking home from work earlier on today, and I rung my mum for a little catch up, and I actually said, "Mum, have you ever heard of seasonal affective disorder?" And she was like, "Yeah, I suffer with it." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Yeah. So
does your mum work shifts or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Not like night shifts or anything like that, but it's a great example of the winter blues, isn't it? We always talk about the winter blues, the clocks change, and then we have shorter days and darker evenings and stuff like that, and we all feel a bit less motivated. But it was very interesting to sort of read about ways that you can counter it, the causes for it, which is always important. But also, I thought it was really good to talk about, because some of us just talk about winter blues, and we don't know about it.
I mean, I knew of it from my dad, but I don't really take any notice of it. But you think about it more when you are going through these dark seasons. Even when I want to get up for a run at 6 a.m. and it's raining, and I don't want to get up for that time.
Like Bestie did this morning. Good lad.
Yeah, fair play.
5 a.m. getting out, big guy.
Yeah. Also, just a quick one on that. I saw that running thing you had, goes around there. Put your phone there. Could you send me the link to that? Because I was looking at them, there was a couple of cheap ones on Amazon, but if you could send me the link, great.
I'll tell you what would be good. When he messages next week and goes, "Episode 2, boys, are really good," and we'll be like, "Was it?"
Yeah.
He never speaks about that. All right, no one mentioned to Rich Best about these comments. All right, so
Same
seasonal affective disorder. So I thought it was really good to talk about because if anyone could just be sat there thinking, I just feel like shit, and obviously lockdown, I'm sure is a contributor to that. But I'm sure that if we have a discussion about it, people look into it themselves. Like we're no professionals, but if it draws attention to it and helps you out, then grand.
Yeah, I mean, Google it after this day. You Google it. You never know what will happen. But see what it is, because you could be suffering yourself. You don't know.
Exactly. So ultimately, as I understand it, it's two things. It's a lack of vitamin D.
Yeah.
So maybe try getting some little vitamin D tablets from your nearest retailer.
Your nearest retailer. You sounded like you're an advert. That. You sound like
you don't know what you can or can't say.
Oh, your nearest retailer.
So go get some vitamin D. And the second thing is that the body releases a chemical that escapes me now.
I was waiting for this one. You know that one, do you?
It begins with an M. And basically it leads to you being lethargic, demotivated, not having that get up and go. So if you think, I just feel like shit all the time, maybe there's your answer. So that's always useful. And like you mentioned, you can get these sad lights.
Yeah, I think they're pretty reasonable to be fair. I'm sure you'll be able to pick one up pretty
speculate.
Pretty cheap on Amazon. Maybe we could put a couple of links in.
Oh, right, okay, that's a nice thing too.
Okay, I'll find you a reasonable one. Maybe not like a knockoff one. Maybe just put your face on it and you're like glowing.
Yeah, we could be bothering you.
Put your Ray-Bans on.
Yeah, so there you go. That's seasonal affective disorder. We know little about it, but it exists. So we thought it was worth bringing up. And by all means, have a look into it. And you never know, it might actually help you by hearing about it.
It might,
which is grand. Okay, I think let's talk about our challenges.
All right. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Because we don't want to make it all about us. We can end on the Christmas lockdown.
Yeah, because that'll be we'll end on that one, I think. Okay. You want to talk about the challenges?
You can dry your eyes afterwards. Then, okay.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong with crying. Okay, so we ain't gonna. Well, anyway.
So we got the negativity on because I feel like you're closing in on that.
Literally here. And if you did watch last week, if we do use the negativity home, I'm going to use it away from the microphones because it took about 30 seconds for the microphones to reset after
It's really loud.
Yeah.
Pretty sure next door neighbour started kicking off, but then again she'll have the music on pretty loud, so it's fine. I think she's.
She knows what's going on.
It's 80s pop this week. It was Queen last week. It was 80s pop this week.
That's why I've got the tash. How Freddie Mercury is here.
Yeah, you've got the same sort of look as Freddie.
Mayo.
No.
Okay, so
challenges. You want to kick off with challenges?
Shall I?
Yeah, I think you should.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, don't worry. Go for
it. Okay, so actually, I think it's an important thing that I want to say first is that I was going for a walk with a friend the other day, and we were talking about suffering with depression and anxiety, and there was sort of a realisation that actually there's some involvement in genetics. So if mental health problems runs in a family, then of course you're more...
you're a bit more likely.
Yeah, definitely.
To suffer from it. Yeah.
Also, it could just be in your makeup that you will never suffer with mental health issues, or it can be in your makeup that you will. And who knows? All right. So it's potluck, I suppose, but there is a possibility that it runs genetically. Now I don't know the science behind that, but what I will point out is that to date and through my challenges.
You know a lot about science, don't you, Matty? What was that sort of chemical? Don't want to press it.
No, it's alright. So, I throughout all my challenges, I didn't suffer with my mental health. So I'm going to talk about these challenges and actually how I dealt with it, and I feel like I've come out of it a better person. So, so I'm lucky in that respect. I've never suffered with my mental health. So, so it was
not that you know of.
Not that I know of. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Because there is aspects that people would think it's not mental health, and it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 2017, I think it was back end of 2017, I changed jobs. There was various reasons for that, but the job I'd been in for 8 years, thoroughly enjoyed. It was sort of all I knew for those 8 years. In that period, I met my other half, who I had my little boy with. And about 6 months it was after I changed jobs, the relationship ended.
I'm guessing you grew that moustache. And because you saw that, all your terrible skincare regime. Which your grandson is shocking.
So it wasn't. I'm not ashamed to say it wasn't my decision to end the relationship. There's absolutely no saltiness in that, bitterness in that. Like
mate,
that's how it is.
These things happen, don't they?
Yeah, that's life, and you know, everyone needs to be happy in a relationship, and if one person isn't, then it's the right thing to do. So the relationship ended, and coming to terms with that was sort of, I suppose, magnified by the fact that I had George.
Yeah.
So we had George, and it was sort of 1.5 at the time. So the biggest challenge at that point was going from seeing George every morning, every night, days off, to knowing that I'm only going to see him 2 days a week. 2 days a week maximum.
It really does. That must have probably messed you around.
Yeah, it was hard. That was really hard. So trying to come to terms with that was a huge challenge, and then very quickly and very suddenly my dad passed away. So that was sort of a month later.
Horrible,
I think.
Horrible.
So that sort of 7-8 month period, my life was turned upside down. So I'd gone from relationship with a child, my own little family, which everyone wants, you know, a job that I enjoyed, and then a healthy family too.
Yeah.
I've never suffered, up to that point, never suffered like a family bereavement.
Yeah. Did you find yourself in like panic stations almost? Like
I did.
A little bit like, oh,
yeah.
What am I doing? Where am I?
Yeah. Well, that's it, because we spoke about last week. We speak about having consistency in your life, whether that be work, health, or your personal life.
Yeah.
Like your love life, your relationship. And I lost consistency in all 3 of those aspects.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate that I had, very lucky that I surrounded myself with good people.
Yeah.
People who looked out for me and looked after me. Too many people that I could even list and thank. But really, like, I suppose losing my dad took the focus off the relationship ending. And there was a big focus on that. That following year, 2018, was a big blur. I went to New York, so my mate who lives out in New York, Smithy, he was like, come out to New York, just spend a week out here. So I went out to New York.
Get a different, just completely different aspect of
it was like a circuit breaker.
A different outlook.
Yeah, it was like, just get away for a week, and I went there on my own.
I think that was a good decision.
Yeah.
I think that's what you need in them situations. You know, if everyone's going through massive life changes, just try and take a week out, a couple of weeks out for yourself.
Just break it.
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
I think being around your hometown as well, in that situation must have been quite difficult, because you know a lot of people that would have known sort of your ex and your dad, and that must have been quite tough.
Yeah, that's it. So really, that's what got me away, and I don't like the phrase, but you know, when you find yourself.
Yeah.
No. When I went to New York, I just spent the daytime doing all the touristy stuff.
Started busking. Can see you at your town.
I went on Saturday Night Live. I did that, and I came back feeling a little bit refreshed. I wouldn't say that it just resolved everything overnight, but I certainly felt better for it. And then started this journey, this mystical, wonderful journey, and I talk about this model, which I think probably no time better than now. So when I talk to people about, you find yourself in a really challenging place and you can't really see a way to move forward, you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, you are. You feel like you're stuck in a rut.
Yeah, so the way I describe it is you've got level ground, and then you've got that big hole, and then you've got level ground coming out the other side. So level ground is obviously life as you knew it and enjoyed, and then you find yourself in that hole. And you can find yourself there through one traumatic event or through several traumatic events over a long period of time. But one little thing could tip you over the edge. Whatever it is, you can find yourself there and you think, shit. So and you're just struggling. And the first step of getting into a better place is by you just feel shit. Like, allow yourself to feel shit. Like,
100% agree with that.
Don't be impatient with it. Don't listen to people going, "Oh, get a grip, man up." You know, all these stupid. Oh, be positive. Like, don't listen. None of that. All right. Surround yourself with good people, and do you know what? Feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah, you've got to go through it, haven't you? You've got to get through all of that.
Yeah.
And there has to be an end result. And you've just got to literally just grind it out almost, and it's awful.
Yeah. So have that period of time. That can be a day, a week, a month. It can go on years. However long you need to feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah, and the thing is though, even you put a time scale on it, but sometimes it can just go on forever.
Yeah.
One day you could be feeling great, and the next day everything could just think, oh, actually, God, remember all that times.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's always there.
Yeah.
Unless you can learn to manage it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough.
And that's why step 2 is so important. Step 2 is talking about it. So step 2 was around the New York time for me.
New York. I had to do it.
Thank you
I just
for that.
had to do it.
No, I'm glad if they feel better for it.
I did.
It's a shame you're tone deaf, really. So I started talking about.
Other people would disagree with that.
I started talking about my dad. I started talking about my relationship. I started talking about George and how I wasn't seeing him as much. And that's a release. It's a huge release, and that is.
It's because you're just getting it out there.
Exactly.
It's all in here, and it's oh my god, it's going round and round and round. It's almost like in there, just shaking it up all the time without that on.
Yeah.
And you can just let it go.
And everyone, I thought you were going to fly to let it go then. don't.
Okay.
So I think talking about it, because you get different advice about everything.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
A relationship, you're right. A relationship ends, and people want to give you every last bit of advice.
Of course they do.
They're like, some people are like, forget about it, move on. Some people are like, I'm so sorry, do you want to try winning back? And like, everyone gives it its different angle.
Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion on it.
Listen to it.
Which is good, because you need all of them opinions to then make up your own mind.
Yeah. So that's why it's important to talk about it. It's good to get it out of your system. Step 3 is a really good one.
I like it that we're in steps.
Yeah.
Steps.
This is this model that I've come up with behind your back.
You're like Johnny Woo. If you know that, it's Pain and Gain, where he goes, "You're a doer." I don't, so you're a doer. Carry on.
Yeah, thank you. It's my model. So step 3, try and better yourself in one aspect. Because the phrase baby steps comes into play here. So step 1, feel sorry for yourself. Step 2, talk about it, biggie. Step 3, try and better yourself. Now that's the gritty bit. That's the difficult bit.
Yeah,
okay?
It is.
Both of us, we definitely bettered ourselves in our health and fitness. So that's how we did it. Now, I also tried to better myself with my work, and I tried to better myself. The biggest thing I focused on was trying to better myself as a parent. Yeah. So instead of spending time with George and thinking, honest, I wish that.
Struggled on that one, haven't you, really?
Instead of being like George, like spending time with him and thinking, well, I only get one day with him this week. Feeling sorry for myself about it. I wanted to embrace that time.
Yeah, definitely. Mate.
So I tried to that was what I sort of told myself. So I bettered myself. I got myself out running, started trying to improve my times. That's where you came in. And I tried to better myself in my work. So that's always a plus. Try to better myself as a parent. And naturally, hand in hand with those things, you better yourself in work, you get good feedback, you can get pay rises and promotions. Better yourself as a parent, that's purely like the feel-good factor that you get.
I think for you that's your main one, isn't it?
Oh, massive. George.
For you, that's out of all them them processes, and the steps, that's literally your main.
Yeah, because he's
everything to you.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
George is everything, and he's the non-judgmental, funny, like unconditional loving thing that is just there.
Like Phoebe.
that is a reliable presence to me. And whether I was seeing him 1 day a week or 7 days a week, I had to enjoy that time.
Yeah. And that's that must have been honestly rubbish. That
it was.
It must have been.
It was crap.
And like you said, from going to see him every day, and then just that, and then now you're in. You know, it's good that you're in a routine now.
Yeah, definitely.
So a routine.
That played a big factor. And then obviously breaking myself in my fitness, you start to feel and see the rewards, don't you? So that's a good thing. So listen, a lot of people I speak to say,
listen,
I'm not. It's not fucking music.
Really on it tonight.
This is a vlogcast.
I know, but I feel like I just
We're
want to
not about to drop an album.
No.
Oh, hang on.
Wow.
I know. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
You can do Triangle.
Week 3 musicals.
So we're getting a bit disjointed with this.
Sorry.
So I bettered myself with my fitness. You know, a lot of people say, no, I'm not a runner. I don't go to the gym. Well, why not just get out for a walk? Start small, and then get
Baby
out.
Steps.
And then start running. Like, do a little run. Like, whatever it is. If you feel like you can better yourself in that area, then do it. That's what I did. That's step 3. Step 4. We rise by lifting others. I said that last week, didn't I?
Yeah,
so helping someone else, helping other people, that is huge. And do you know what? I only did that at pretty much the start of this year, 2020. So the challenges that I'd had, I only really started getting over my ex about a year ago.
Yeah.
That's 2 years down the line. 2 years down the line.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's, do you know what? It probably sounds, people will be like, 2 years ago, his ex. But given that I lost my dad and that was the focus, and then I never really had that time.
You never had the time to think about it, did you?
No. Picking George up, still seeing her, stuff like that. It's just that routine, and you're grinding it out. And then it was like, okay, I need to fucking move on here.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was like, okay, that's my next bit. So. We rise by lifting others. So that's where that came in. Yorkie Dad, you got mindfulness. That is where that came in.
It's so true. You know, helping someone else is the best feeling ever. No matter what it is. Again, like whether it's work, whether it's fitness, whether it's helping George, you know, be friends with Phoebe because she doesn't really like him.
Tried to take his nose off.
She did try that, but I mean, it was warranted if I'm honest. It was all savage to her. He was really nasty.
Listen, he's a bit full on, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and she didn't like that.
But yeah, so at the beginning of this year, I was like, right, I'm going to make a conscious effort to help other people. So what I started doing was, obviously with Yorkie Dads and mindfulness, I started doing little acts of kindness. I was like an agony aunt. So I was like, talk to me. Like, people used to come to me, and then further down the line, they go, thanks for taking me for a beer that time, or thanks for that phone call. And then suddenly, guess what happened? Suddenly I'm in the position of strength. I'm like, whoa, hang on.
It's weird.
I thought I was struggling.
Yeah.
But I'm helping other people.
And you feel so much better for doing it.
So it's win-win, but it's from a selfish point of view. It's like, well, I was struggling. I'm helping someone else. I feel great for it, so that benefits me, but actually it benefits them as well. Of course it does. Like they need that. They need that help.
Yeah.
So that was step 4. Help other people. That's it then. For me, my challenges were behind me. That phase of my life, although I don't want to forget it because that's...
No, I think you should never forget it. Because it's like your mould, that's moulded.
Yeah, definitely.
But who you are now.
That brings me to now where I'm like, I'm in a great mind space. Like, I'm in a job with better, the structure, the shifts, the work-life balance is amazing. My fitness, I've never been as physically fit. I'm surrounded by very positive people, and through the support groups and now the vlogcast, potentially helping other people. It's a great place to be, and I'm happy to have had all that to bring me to this point.
That's amazing, mate, that you're in a better place now than ever.
Yeah.
And I know you, like I said, you've not massively struggled with mental health.
No.
To a point, but I know a lot of people out there who will, and a lot of other people will feel great sometimes right now, but then that's not saying that tomorrow there might be a trigger and then they might feel crap.
Yeah, definitely.
So you know, you can be up here one day, but sometimes you might just be down there the next day.
And listen, I didn't suffer with mental health, but there were days.
Aware. Yeah, but you might not. You might have done.
Yeah,
but you just haven't thought about
that. I would say that. I whatever day I dropped George off back at his mum's, like, I would say and I'm not ashamed to say this, for probably the best part of a year, would I drop him off and get in the car, drive around the corner, and just sob my heart out. I bet that went on a year. And I'm not ashamed to say that. It was a big, that was like, that was routine. So although I didn't struggle with mental health, and I still stand by that, I'm not saying that it wasn't hard, because it was very difficult.
Of course.
So
it's awful, absolutely awful that that you had to go through that. But like you said, going through them steps now, and it makes you who you are now. It makes you stronger.
But I value everything more as well.
Definitely.
So,
and you value the little things more.
Yeah. Speaking of little things, it's time to speak about your challenges. He's a very small man.
I'm average height, actually. I think I'm a 5'9".
You're not average height. You're nowhere near 6 foot.
I'm not above average in most things, to be honest, in my life. So I want to speak about loneliness. Now, for me, that's a massive thing. So, I was with someone for a long time, and we lived together for a long time, and before that I lived with my parents. So I moved back in with my parents, and then I moved back out again, and moved back out by myself. And, it was such a massive step for me to take, and the unknown what I was going into, setting up everything by myself, because I've never had to think for myself before. I've always had somebody there to rely on. Somebody there to make other decisions. I don't need to make them all. So having to do all of that by myself was such a massive thing. And I think getting through it was the toughest part. Laying there in bed at night. It's sad, isn't it? But it is awful. It is awful when you think to yourself, just you sort of lay there thinking, oh, here we go again by myself. And do you know what the worst part? Do you know what the worst part for me was? It was coming home on a night. And there was no lights on. There was no one to cook for me. Not that I expect back at 5, dinner on the table, love, let's go. But I don't expect that. But having that pretty much most of my life, it was weird really, coming back and there was no one there. So there was times where I was like, just used to sit there, just feeling sorry for myself. She's awful, really, but everybody will go through that at some stage, I would imagine, in your life, like I imagine you did, mate. Yeah,
but the tables turn, and you actually start thinking, I've just got an evening to myself tonight. So the tables, it's funny how things change.
And, it took me, it's taken me a while to adjust to being by myself and doing things. And I think the main things that have helped me is having my family there on the other end of the phone when I've needed them, having some very great close friends around me that have been there, that have popped round to see me and just checked in now and again.
Do I fall into the family category now?
I suppose you can do, I guess, yeah.
Oh, reluctantly. Carry on.
Reluctantly.
We'll talk about that later.
That's why my mum likes you. Well, she didn't say it specifically, but I could see in her eyes. It's not some kind of civil partnership, this, by the way.
Carry on.
I've lost trail of what I was saying now.
Having friends and family.
So having friends and family were there, when I wanted to ring them and just to ask how you are. Like I was saying, I touched on it last week about, my sister was there for quite a lot. She was absolutely phenomenal through the whole process, and she still is now, because there's still times where I feel lonely. And that's what I was saying earlier about mental health. Some days you can feel, oh my God, I can do anything. And then there's some days I will come back and I'll feel absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. Loneliness is huge, and that is why there's such a massive value to just dropping someone a message.
Yep.
Drop someone a message, drop someone a voice note. That seems to be the done thing now, doesn't it? Voice notes. Drop a voice note. Your neighbour, if they live on their own, knock on the door.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if you know someone lives on their own, just drop. Sorry, that's the program coming back.
That's I don't think we want to be sponsored by them.
So drop them
100%.
It's important, because that could just. Sorry, that was gross.
It could just mean everything to them, and like I said, overcoming it was so difficult. because you're still sort of going through it now. A lot of people out there will be going through it now. But I think getting into what Matty suggested earlier about the routine, you know, I fell out of love for running for a while because I just felt rubbish. I just felt low. I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to just sort of feel sorry for myself. I literally just wanted to sit here and feel sorry for myself. Which is fine. That's what you've got to do, and that's what you said earlier. You need to go through that to get to the side. So I started implementing more of a routine. You know, going back into my running, just starting off slowly, doing my little runs in the morning. Routine is everything. Yeah. You know, doing exactly the same thing every day. Just get yourself back to the old Mike, how I was before. Yeah. And challenging myself to other things, whether that be running, whether that be work. Again, like you said earlier, it's almost like you've got to reinvent yourself. Yeah. In my opinion. Yeah, you have. Yeah. Because if it's just you, you've got to do everything. You know, no one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to do it for you. Reinvent yourself.
So for me, something that I used to play rugby in school, and I stopped playing, and I hadn't played for years, and then I joined a rugby club. Yeah, I was like, exactly. I miss that. Like, I haven't played it for years, and there's some culture about being part of a club.
And the other thing is like, it's the excitement of thinking Thursday nights off. I'll get to go to rugby tonight. Great, I get to meet the lads again.
It's a new circle of friends. It's a new challenge, and there's bits and pieces that come with it, and hand in hand. So I don't mean to boast. I do really.
I'm sure you will. I'll probably be on social media after this.
Club captain of the Harrogate Fire Ants now, and but with that, hand in hand comes like amounts of community work. So there's the feel good factor again. It's all come back around. Yeah. So for yourself, looking at your fitness and stuff, I know you went down to running club up now, mate.
I did, yeah. I mean, I'm still part of the running club, and I've not been with them obviously the lockdown, so it's difficult. But like I was saying, getting back into a routine slowly, it'll make yourself feel a little bit better. But that's not saying that the next day you'll feel lonely again, because you might. Yeah. But you know, you just need to reach out a little bit, and
that's what you did. That's what you did.
I did. Definitely. You know, I had a lot of friends, a lot of very close friends that were really good for me, and my family that were there for me, you know, every step of the way.
And that was a challenging part of your life.
It was absolutely massive. It was absolutely massive. And, you know, thankfully I'm through the other side.
Anything else happen, challenge-wise, that you want to talk about? Oh, I know you're panicking now.
Not really, no. Not that I can think of right now. I might have to save that for next week.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just trying to think of any other challenges or anything. No, I'm good for that one for now. Okay.
You're obviously not comfortable talking about, you know.
About my nana? Yeah, I mean...
Oh, you don't have to talk about it.
No, you know.
I don't want to put it on you, but...
No, yeah. That was a massive change for me.
I just feel... Look, if you didn't want to talk about it, that's fine. But we tell people to talk, and we need to...
No, you're right.
All right?
And, oh my God, that was a crazy time, you know. It was almost a little bit out of the blue. My nana, you know, passed away, bless her, and she was a big part of our lives. We lost my granddad last year, and you know, she's not been the same since. You know, which was awful. It was awful to see her sort of deteriorate a little bit, and yeah, I guess that affected me. Maybe you don't think about it much, but then it does. It plays in your mind all the time, and yeah, that was a massive part of my life, and I guess it did. It did, so thank you for telling me to bring it up, because you know it did.
Yeah, and bereavement bereavement's a horrible thing, because there's no right or wrong way to deal with it. No one's prepared for it. No. Even if it's a long illness and you sort of know it's coming when it happens, doesn't make it any easier. It's a horrendous thing.
She was a legend.
Yeah,
was my nana. He was a legend.
So yeah. There you go. So that's our challenges. That's how we've dealt with them. That's what you asked for, and that's what you got. So let's move on. If anybody, by the way, sort of listened to that and could relate to it and thought, actually, I want them to talk more about that, just drop us a message on Twitter, at Hub Positivity, or message us on our individual social media platforms. Or comment under the video and we'll get in touch with you. Because, here we go again. Down there.
Here we go.
Drop us a comment down there. And we'll get in touch, because the conversation doesn't end here. This is the point of us having these conversations. Is that if someone's relating to and wants to take some comfort or guidance, you're not on your own. You know,
as long as you guys are listening, we'll keep talking.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. So let's talk about the final bit, which is lockdown at Christmas.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing to discuss, isn't it? So it was all over the news today. The discussion about whether to tighten lockdown restrictions or sort of release the restrictions a bit for Christmas. Bear in mind, if they release them, they'll have to tighten them up immediately after Christmas. So we might have another lockdown after Christmas, stuff like that. So there's a lot of angles on this. This morning, I was lucky enough to be on the wireless, talking about it, having a little discussion, talking about the pros and cons. And listen, everyone's going to have different opinions because everyone has different situations and different, their lives are totally different. Yeah. I think the important bit is that we understand and appreciate other people's opinions, which should be the case in every walk of life, in every situation. But I think it's the important thing to understand is that while we want to go to our family's households and celebrate Christmas, remember that within those households there are vulnerable people. And it was actually put to me this morning, well, what about elderly people that say, this could be my last Christmas? Well, that's speculatory. And you could go into that household and never mind the last Christmas, that could be the last few weeks if they end up with COVID. Yeah, so let's be a bit sensible with it. Of course, like I want to see my little boy. Oh my God, I want to see I've got two households, the one my little boy will be in and the one that my mum, my brother, my gran and my nephew will be in. Now, if the government says one household, I've got a decision to make. Is that a shit thing to happen? Yes, of course it is. I've got to make a decision about which household I go to. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. Like, let's be realistic. It's like short-term.
It is. I mean, I think we all knew this was going to come, whether it was going to last year. Nobody knows, do they? How long it's going to last, but we all knew potentially that a lockdown could come over Christmas, and like you said, a lot of people are going to have to make tough decisions, in fairness.
Yeah, very tough.
Don't worry, Mum, I'll just be chilling here for you because the quality streets and the celebrations at the front door. I'll be fine. I do like mince pies though, which granted a lot of people don't like, but I'm a big fan of a mince pie.
I love mince pies. Salt caramel mince pies are good.
Yeah.
Them ones from...
the ones from Aldi, yeah.
Oh, you said it, okay.
Now.
Oh, well, so yeah, I think the important thing to remember is whatever the government decide, it's not an easy thing for them to decide on. We have to respect it. It's easy for any family member to go, no one's going to know if I'm good. No one's going to know.
The thing is, I personally, I think that's what everyone's attitude will be. Because people are literally sick to death of this year, thinking, I've not been able to see anyone all year, especially through the summer months with the great weather and everything, and now going into Christmas where it is a time where everybody is with the family and the friends, and people have massive Christmases. With like 20, 30 people. So it's difficult.
Yeah, it is. And I think something actually that's brilliant. I love it when something comes together like this. Yeah. Someone said last week on a text, and you'll know because you'll hear me saying it now. They said, there's no point worrying about things that you can't control. And I've said that for ages, but I'm so glad someone said it because I wanted to repeat it on here. There's no point worrying about things you can't control. That decision that the government makes, whatever they decide, what's the point of worrying about it now? Plan for Christmas, embrace Christmas, and enjoy whatever happens.
And it is what it is.
Yeah, of course
it literally is what it is. We have to just
100%.
We have to just accept it.
Yeah, like
shave that moustache. We have to just accept it.
It like you said, it is what it is, and we go on with it. Let's not forget how blessed we are with technology as well.
It's true. So I'll be able to watch The Holiday on repeat on Christmas Day. Sorry, carry on.
I was talking about that FaceTime with your family.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. If you can't make it to a household to see a family member or some of your family members, FaceTime. It's there for a reason.
I mean, I can't wait to try and FaceTime my grandma. Let's be honest. No, Grandma, I can see you. I can see you right there. No, move the screen back. Move the screen back.
No, not to your ear. Yeah, it's so see the positives in it. If the government says you can go to one household, Thank God you can go to one household. There's a positive.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm absolutely adamant. It's not going to be the case where they go lockdown. You can't go to any household because even in lockdown, you've got your support bubble.
Of course, yeah.
So let's remember that you are going to have one household that you can go to. I have
year-round for Christmas.
Why?
Oh, you'll just be a nightmare.
Why?
I can just feel that coming. Just you won't put the pigs on the blankets properly. It's just going to be stressful.
Pigs on the blankets. Well, that's where you're going wrong. But listen, you know, we're all in a fortunate position where we are. Yes, we're in lockdown, but we are allowed a support bubble at this point. That's not going to be taken away for Christmas. If anything, they're going to be eased a little bit. So
I think it will. I mean, it's all been building up to this, hasn't it? It's all been building up to the fact that hopefully we'll be able to see family and friends a bit more at Christmas.
Yeah. And you know what?
And let's hopefully open the pubs on Christmas Day, because my dad will be fuming if we can't get down there. My granddad pub.
If it's still tight restrictions, don't forget your neighbours as well. So don't forget, you know, set up that WhatsApp group I mentioned last week. Go drop a letter through everyone's door with your mobile number on it. Set up that WhatsApp group. Add people in that want to be in it. And why the hell not? If it's Christmas Day and you're stuck at home, go organise for people that are stuck at home on your street to sit outside and have a drink and put some Christmas music on.
Next door, it should definitely have some tunes on. I reckon the Christmas hits. I'm hoping so, because I'm hoping for a bit of Fairy Tale in New York.
Last Christmas,
I gave you my heart.
We should drop our first album.
We should, yeah. Fairy Tale in New York is my favourite.
The album can just be called TPH with a hashtag, because that's what the kids do, don't they?
Yeah, hashtag it, yeah.
And the first single is going to be called Mayo.
Mayo.
Okay. So yeah, I suppose that's our three.
That's us for the week,
topics.
I guess.
Yeah, we can put our feet up for another 6 days now, can't we?
You're going to do tea now.
So don't forget, please, if there's anything you want us to talk about, comment underneath the video, drop us a message on I know it's a Tinder again.
Why do you keep saying that? It's in your brain.
Yeah,
just delete the app, man.
It's all about Hinge. Get yourself on Twitter if you have Twitter. Drop us a
you were about to say again.
slide into our DMs or message us individually. Thank you so much for all the support that we've had as well.
It's absolutely
good.
It's been phenomenal. Really phenomenal. It's great. Hearing people I've not spoke to in ages. Drop me a message on Instagram saying, really enjoyed you.
It's funny, isn't it? When you get a bit of fame, people reappear.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We'll definitely hit Phil and Holly. I'm coming for you. Oh, that's quite intimidating. That's not negative.
Well, we haven't. No, you say I'm coming for you. That's threats of violence.
Okay, let's do it then.
Shall I?
Yeah.
Do you want to? Because you didn't last week. Go on then. Away from the microphone.
Have I got the strength?
Yeah, do it over there.
Weak, small man. Just walk her up. That's tune's gone louder next door. Anyway, yes, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And like we said, if there's anything you want us to speak about next week, drop us a message.
Yeah. Please, I sound like one of these king YouTubers. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And it'd be great if you could share it. If you genuinely have taken something from...
And if you're voting for Matty to stay in, it's 01. And if you're voting for Mike to stay in, it's 02. Pick up the phones now.
If you genuinely have taken something from these vlogcasts so far, then please do share the link to either this video or to the channel itself.
Definitely, yeah.
If we're doing a good thing, then why not? Someone else might benefit as well. Next week, as you'll know, as we've discussed, we don't have any topics yet. It all comes from you lot. I'm sure we'll talk about the even worse ginger tash by this point next week.
What week will be on? Thursday, so the 27th, next Friday. Yeah, we're coming off soon, so don't worry, guys.
Yeah, that's the last time you'll see this.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, China.
I'm not saying thank you, Mexico again. Hey, that's good.
And we'll see you, hopefully, for episode 3.
Oh my God, episode 3. Come on, let's go.
We'll see. After 13 views this week.